Yes, students. So we are continuing from the just completed video, which was we found that we need to increase the addendum of gear as well as pinion. So now we will find out that what should be that value. Fine. In previous video, we have also seen that the tangent, it can means we can increase the addendum only up to the tangent line, right? We can increase the addendum only to the tangent line. So I'm going to draw a common tangent to both the base circles. These are the base circles. The lower one is the base circle of pinion and the upper one is the base circle of gear. And then I'm going to find the common normal, the line joining the centers. So this is the line joining the centers. Yeah. And you got the pitch point, right? Immediately, can you see where the pitch point is located? Yes, this is the pitch point, location of pitch point, P. And now, to avoid any clutter, we are going to just draw the addendum circles. And it's better not to draw, right? Do we require the addendum circles right now? I hope it's not required. So this was O. And I said that only till this tangency you can go to maintain the law of gearing. If you maintain the law of gearing only, you are going to get constant angular velocity ratio. Fine. And we told it Q. This was Q. And I hope you remember that. Where was the pressure angle? Do you remember where we found the pressure angle to be? The pressure angle was found to be over here. Yes. So it was the angle between the common tangent to the pitch circles, which is the horizontal line, and the common normal, which is the green line. Yes. So this was the pressure angle, psi. And now what I do is, what would I, we would like to connect this line, which is the addendum radius, right? Addendum radius. So what was the statement which I made? The statement which I made earlier was that we said that addendum radius of gear should be less than or equal to OQ, right? It should be less than or equal to OQ. If it crosses OQ, it will cross the tangency line. If it crosses the tangency line, then the law of gearing is automatically not satisfied. Fine. So now how to find out this OQ? I hope you know some things about the triangle, right? So this is OQ, and this line which I see over here, this is the pitch circle radius of gear, right? This is pitch point. This is pitch circle radius of gear. This is pitch circle radius of pinion, right? And I can see that I can write from OQ. If I look at OQ, I can see a triangle. Can you all see the triangle? Is the triangle visible? Yes. Yeah. Triangle O, Q, and P. I hope you have seen this triangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a cosine rule formula. So what is that? See, this is 90 degrees, guys. This is 90 degrees. And what is this? This is psi. Can you see? See, this angle are equal. Those are alternate angles. Yes, alternate angles. Sorry, opposite angles. Opposite angles are always equal. I hope you can see that opposite angles are always equal. So this angle will be equal to this angle over here. Fine. These opposite angles will be equal. So here also it will be psi. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mention this complete thing in a simple manner, that this angle over here is what? This angle over here is 90 plus psi. 90 plus psi. So I'm going to write cos 90 plus psi is equal to OP square plus QP square minus QO square divided by 2 times OP into OQ. Hope this formula you have come across sometime. I'll just share with you. So this is A, B, C, for example, and this is theta. So write it this way. The formula comes like cos theta is equal to A square plus B square minus C square divided by 2 times AB. So this formula I have used here. Okay. What is cos 90 plus theta? Cos 90 plus theta is minus sin theta. Minus sin theta. Okay. Is equal to what is OP? What is OP? RG. So it is RG square plus what is OQ? Sorry, QP. QP is If you look here carefully, QP from here, I can see that this is also psi, right? Previously, we have done all these things. So psi, I can say RP sine psi is this because this is opposite and this is 90 degrees. So I can say RP sine psi, right? It means it is pitch circle radius of pinion. RP means pitch circle radius of pinion minus QO or OQ square. These both are same because I'm not substituting what is QO. I know that QO is RAG. Okay, it is addendum radius of gear, but we know that this is QO, right? So we'll keep it that way itself. And in the denominator, I can write 2RG RP sine psi. Is it okay? Fine. Now cross multiply it and make Q square is equal to, keep Q square on one side and the remaining things on the other side. Fine. So if you have that, automatically you are going to get something like this. So it will be like RG square plus RP square sine square psi plus 2 times RG RP sine square psi. This is what you're going to get. After doing the cross multiplication, then send this LHS value to RHS and here OQ or OQ square to LHS. Just make it that way and then you are going to get this formation. Now, what can I write this entire term as is take RG common, take RG square common, take RG square common from the entire thing. So I'll have 1 here. Here I have to multiply and divide by RG square, right? So that I can take RG square common. So this will be RP by RG whole square and plus, sorry, here sine square psi. So sine square psi plus 2 times. Now 1 RG is outside, but 1 RG is not present. RG square we need. So multiply by RG and divide by RG. Fine. So I'll get only 1 RG in the denominator. RG, RP by RG here and sine square psi. So here what we are going to get is, we know that we have a term called Gare ratio. We have a term called Gare ratio, which is lambda. So Gare ratio is always equal to RG by RP is equal to N P by Ng. So Gare ratio can be written in this way. And Gare ratio is always greater than 1. So check properly and write down. Gare ratio is always greater than 1. See, RG, radius of gear is obviously greater than radius of pinion, right? Yeah, pitch circle radius of gear, pitch circle of pinion. Yes. So here, how can I complete it? See, RG square multiplied by 1 plus, I can write 1 by lambda whole square. So RG by RP, right? Sine square, I won't write sine square right now. I'm going to take sine square also common from here, plus I can write 2 by lambda, right? 2 by lambda, just RP you put in denominator, RG by RP, 2 by lambda, and then bracket closed, sine square psi is taken common here, and then this is the formation. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another substitution, and the another substitution is that, see, you have to remember what is lambda and what is, I'm going to substitute this value as A. For our easiness, A is what? A is equal to 1 by lambda square plus 2 by lambda. How can you remember this? See, 1, 2, 2, 1. Remember that way. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1 by lambda square. If there is 1, then you'll have 2. If there is 2, there is 1 in the power. Just check, remember that way. Okay, what is lambda? Lambda is Rg by Rp or Np by Ng, because NP is greater than Ng, you can see, because rotation of pinion is always faster than rotation of gear, this ratio. So I can say that OQ is equal to, you can put an under root, right? So RG will come out under root 1 plus A sine square psi. Fine, till here, I hope it is clear. Now we are going to continue in this page itself so that you won't miss any understanding. Fine. So now what is the condition? Condition is RA addendum radius of gear should be less than or equal to, OQ is what? RG under root 1 plus A sine square psi. So this is the thing. And what is this? Actually, you can see that RA is what? RA is pitch circle of Gauss plus addendum of Gauss is less than or equal to Rg under root of 1 plus A sine square psi. Now, write down this. Addendum is less than or equal to, send the Rg over that side, take Rg common, you will get under root of 1 plus A sine square psi minus 1. Right, because Rg is taken common and this is only till here, square root is only till here. So you got the first equation in terms of addendum, but mostly you have in terms of the number of teeth. Mostly you have in terms of number of teeth. So let's continue the discussion. So we have seen that addendum should be less than or equal to Rg multiplied by under root of 1 plus A sine square psi minus 1. Okay. So now in terms of number of teeth. So what is addendum? Addendum usually you see what do you find the addendum as? So you have addendum is equal to one module, that way you have seen, right? So here how to convert it in number of teeth. For example, it is full depth. See two methods you have. For full depth, addendum is equal to one module. For stub teeth, addendum is equal to 0.8 module. Right? So these I think already you know it. So instead of 1 and 0.8, we will write some constant. Okay, instead of 1 and 0.8, I will write addendum is equal to k times module. K times module. K can be 1 or 0.8. According to the question, you have to choose the k value. Okay, so here I'll write k times module is less than or equal to, what can be written as r, what can r be written as? R is equal to mz by 2. Where did I get this from? I got this from module is equal to d by z. Fine. D is equal to 2r by z and r is equal to mz by 2. Fine. So that way we got it. So pitch circle radius mz by 2. So pitch circle radius of Gauss is m times z of Gauss divided by 2, and you will get the formula as under root of 1 plus a sine square psi minus 1. Fine. Here from here you can cancel out the modules. Fine. Module is same, right, for Gauss and pinion. So anyways you can cancel it out. And finally you got Zg should be greater than or equal to, see Zg is here, Zg is here, and just cross multiply those things. Greater than or equal to symbol will be properly provided. Okay, if you are having confusion in this, I'm going to just keep it as it is. See, Zg is here itself, remaining things you can send it that side. So 2k divided by under root of 1 plus a sine square psi minus 1. Fine. So this is the minimum number of teeth on Gauss to avoid interference. Zg is what? Zg is minimum number of teeth to avoid interference. It means it can be, see, minimum it should be Zg. What does the equation say? Zg should be greater than or equal to this value. So minimum value is Zg. Above Zg if you are getting, then no problem. And now if I want the minimum number of teeth on pinion, see this is for Gauss which we did. Now our doubt is, then what about pinion? What to do about pinion? So pinion, if I want to know about pinion, I will just do this thing. Just see, I'll multiply on both sides by pinion. Will the equation change? Will the equation change? Everyone are engineers, right? Very great in mathematics. Equation does not change. And what I'm going to do is I'm cross multiplying this Zg on the other side so that Zp will be kept here. So cross multiply. So I'll keep the Zp here. I'll cross multiply Zg. So it will be 2k by Zp by Zg divided by under root of 1 plus a sine square psi minus 1. Right? Now, what is the Gauss ratio? The meaning of Gauss ratio is Rg by Rp, right? Which is equal to Np by Ng, which is equal to, see, from the fundamental law of gearing, you have even this thing, which is equal to Zg by Zp, right? Yes. So Gauss ratio is equal to Zg by Zp. So Zg is here, Zp is on the top. So 1 by 1 by lambda. Yes, done. You got even minimum number of teeth on pinion to avoid interference. So this is minimum number of teeth on pinion to avoid interference. So I hope you understood. We have derived the equation for minimum addendum. See, addendum should be less than or equal to on the first case. If you see the first case, addendum should be less than or equal to. So this is the first equation. So from this we went further to find out the minimum number of teeth on gear. Then we went to find out the minimum number of teeth on pinion. So you can use any equation. If it satisfies this, any one of the equations, it is going to not have any interference, and you will even have maximum here by reducing the number of teeth. What is happening? See, automatically you are having, sorry, increasing the number of teeth. What is happening? So as you increase the number of teeth, see, whenever you have a gear, see, gear and pinion. Okay, so when you increase the number of teeth, automatically, see, and initially this was the teeth size. For instance, initially this was the teeth size on gear as well as pinion. Now by increasing the number of teeth means what? You have to reduce the size of individual teeth. So if you are reducing the size of individual teeth, for example, in the same area, if I want number of teeth, what will I do is I will generate this involute. See, this way I'm going to generate the involute only till here. Fine. So now I have number of teeth increased, right? Means exactly they're not going to be in that, they will have some gap over here, but the number of teeth increased, right? So this way, by increasing the teeth, you are reducing the height also. So by reducing the height also, what's happening? Automatically your interference is reduced, right? No interference because of this height only. No interference is happening because of this addendum. So by increasing the number of teeth, you are automatically reducing it. Fine. But by increasing the number of teeth, you are decreasing the length of path of contact. Then what is the point, right? What is the point? By increasing the number of teeth, you are reducing again the length of path of contact. It is being compromised, right? To avoid the, see, first we wanted to increase the length of path of contact, the first case, right? So what did we do? We said that addendum should be increased. But now what is happening? By increasing the addendum, what you are having some interference. Okay, now because we are having interference, what we are doing again? We are reducing the, sorry, we are increasing the number of teeth. But by increasing the number of teeth, again the length of path of contact is less. Means the efficiency we are not getting, that much of efficiency we are not getting, which we thought actually in the beginning. So is there a alternate solution? That's what we have to think about further. Okay, so there are those things we will discuss in the continuation. Fine, and we will even go through few problems. So let's continue with the problem. So we are giving number of teeth on pinion is equal to 14, number of teeth on gear is equal to 42, and pressure angle is equal to 20 degrees. So now you have to find out, will the interference occur? So this is the question mark. Okay, will the interference occur? So I'll help you out in this one problem. I'll help you out. So what is, do we have the formula for Zg? Yeah, Zg should be greater than or equal to 2k divided by under root of 1 plus a sine square psi minus 1. And here full depth also is given. Full depth. Only full depth is given or stub is given. Only based on that we can find out the k value. What is k? For full depth, it is 1. For full depth, k is 1. For stub, it is 0.8 because one module, 0.8 module. Okay, so k is 1. So now we can say Zg is greater than or equal to 2 into 1 divided by under root of a. What is a? A is equal to 1 by lambda square plus 2 by lambda. 2 1 1 2 అని చెప్పాను కదా. Yes, I hope you remember 2 1 1 2. So what is lambda? Lambda is, I told lambda is gear ratio and it always greater than 1. So I can write 42 by 14, right? Rg by Rp. Right? 42 by 14 is what? If you do this entire thing, you're going to get value 7 by 9. 7 by 9. Please cross check. It will be 7 by 9 and psi is 20 degrees. So 7 by 9 sine square 20 degrees and then minus 1. Finally, you are going to get ZG should be greater than or equal to 14 point, sorry, what is ZG? Kindly do the calculation and let me know. I got the answer as 44.94. Kindly cross check it if I'm wrong. I have done this calculation. So ZG should be greater than or equal to 44.9194, but we have ZG is equal to 42. So there is interference here. So there is interference because the minimum number of teeth required to avoid interference is 44.94. It means 45, but it is 42 only. So this way you can check the how to find out the minimum number of teeth, or you can check if there is interference or not. Okay. Now we will make an observation. Now I'm going to change the psi value as 22.5 degrees and the same given data as above. Okay, solve it using this data. Fine, again same full depth. And we have used ZG, ZP, right? ZP is equal to 14 and ZG is equal to 42, right? Same data, nothing has changed, but only the pressure angle have changed. So by changing the pressure angle, what's happening? You can use the same formula, but would put ZG should be greater than or equal to 2K divided by lambda under root of 1 plus A sine square psi minus 1. Okay, only the psi value is changed. In this case, you are going to get ZG greater than or equal to, let me calculate. So only one value is changed, which is the pressure angle, 22.5. So I am getting 36.09. How many tooth do we have? Minimum teeth is 36. We have 42, right? So in this case, we have no interference. So what does this say? This says that by increasing the pressure angle, we don't have the interference. Okay, by increasing the pressure angle, we don't have the interference. Okay, but now what's happening here? How we'll see the significance of it. So we have center to center distance is equal to r of gear plus r of pinion, right? And r of gear is what? R b of gear by cos psi plus rb of pinion by cos psi. So I can write C is equal to RB plus RG, sorry, base circle radiuses, right? So C multiplied by cos psi is equal to RB of gear plus RB of pinion. So now by increasing the psi value, what's going to happen if you are going to increase the psi value? If you are going to increase the psi value, the cos psi will decrease, right? Cos psi is going to decrease. Yes, if cos psi is decreasing, automatically this also will decrease. Can you see that? Automatically you can see that the base circle of gear plus base circle of pinion is also going to decrease. Fine. So one of the methods over here is to avoid interference. So base circles are decreasing means what? Automatically, see, you have this base circles earlier. I'll just show this. What's happening? How you are going to increase? So consider this. Fine. And then consider this. Two base circles are different. Now I'm drawing the tangency. Let's draw the line joining the centers. And the tangent, actually what happens over here is they are going to intersect at the same point. Smaller one. Okay, we reduce it, and I think you can see the pitch point is same. The pitch point won't change. Pitch point actually won't change. I have to draw the pink one little bit left. the pitch point won't change. If pitch point is not changing, velocity ratio is constant. Velocity ratio is not changed because the base circle radius is changed. See, I have changed the base circle radius. I have decreased the base circle radius. That's why the pressure angle is increasing. See, this is the pressure angle. Initially, this was the pressure angle. Now this is the pressure angle. So pressure angle increased. So by increasing the pressure angle, what's happening? The base circles are being shrunk. It means the base circles are becoming smaller. But the point P will not change. It means the velocity ratio won't change. Fine. And this will give you avoiding the interference. Here also we have avoid the interference with the same teeth, with the just by increasing the pressure angle. Fine, just by increasing the pressure angle we have decreased. But here also we can see that the length of path of contact is compromised. It means here also length of path of contact is decreased. So we have seen two methods. One is minimum number of teeth, that method. Another is by increasing or decreasing or by manipulating the base circle radius, you can manipulate the pressure angle. Thus, you are reducing the interference. Okay, or we are removing the interference, no interference. Okay guys, thank you then.